Hi, I'm Sheilaa Hite, world-class astrologer, tarot master, spellcaster, medium, and all-around magical being. And I'm here today to talk to you about the astrological aspects of this week. So we are still involved with a heavy-duty Uranian influence. And that Uranian influence is very intense and was especially the last 2 weeks. So we still have to deal with it. The theme for this week is Uranian flexibility. And Uranus is the planet that anything can happen. It's a planet of genius. It's the planet of wild and crazy. It's the planet of divine insight. And it is also the planet of the humanitarian. So anything can happen this week. Be flexible. Remember, it's not personal, but whatever's happening, in a lot of ways, it's necessary. And we'll see that as the aspects of the week roll out. So let's start with the first aspect, which is Tuesday. Mercury trine Uranus. Mercury, the planet of thinking, the intellect, communication. Mercury is a conduit, how we connect with one thing to another thing. So Mercury trine, a trine is harmonious and beneficial. That's an energy that's really great to have between Mercury and Uranus, because Uranus is genius, and Uranus is anything can happen, and Uranus is humanity. So a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas are going to come up this week. Write them down. This is a great week to write these things down, your thoughts, your ideas, because they're going to develop into something else. Some of them you'll never revisit, but many of them will fashion themselves into something that you couldn't have imagined, but it came from the seed of that original thought. So this is a great time for enlightening moments, for ahas, and for really fantastic intuitive hits. Pay attention to them, write them down, and begin noticing how they move so that you can act on them. Wednesday, the moon is in the sign of Aries, and the moon in Aries will be square Pluto. So the moon is your essential self, your essential being, how you feel comfortable, how you feel safe, how you are impacted by emotions and feelings. The moon in Aries is, to say the least, restless. The moon in Aries can be combative. The moon in Aries wants activity, whereas the moon just wants to float along. Aries wants to move. So the moon in Aries is telling you, breathe deeply, slow down your heart rate, slow down your pace. Very important. Now this moon in Aries making a square aspect to Pluto. Wow. A square is fixed. A square is an aspect that says there will be tension. And it's making a square aspect to the planet Pluto, the planet of transformation, the planet of passion, the planet of control. And so you have Mars just wanting to get in there, and you have Mars making an abrasive aspect to Pluto, who wants to hold control and hold it passionately. Tensions are high. So on Wednesday, tensions will be high. Remain calm, do calming exercises. Remember to breathe deeply, especially when you begin to feel emotional, any kind of emotion. This is not the time to give yourself permission to just let it rip. Moon and Aries square Pluto, never a good thing. Many triggers, because the moon relates to your early beginnings and all the way back to past lifetimes. So you can be triggered easily. Breathe gently, deeply, rhythmically. Keep roses around you, rose oil, rose water, calm. Then on Thursday, we will have Venus trine Jupiter. Venus is the planet of value, especially self-value. So Venus is about relationships. Venus is about taking care of yourself. It's about love. And there's nothing wrong with loving yourself enough to take really good care of yourself. So Venus is going to be trine, harmonious, beneficial aspect, Jupiter. Jupiter, the planet of how we connect with the divine consciously. Jupiter, the planet of expansion. Jupiter, the planet of luck and blessings. So this is a great day for self-care. That's really it. No matter what you do, your thoughts need to be, how do I care for myself best in this moment today? Because that is really important, especially coming from the day before when you had the moon in Aries square Pluto. So the next thing we are looking at for Thursday is the moon will have moved from Aries to the sign of Taurus. Well, the moon in Taurus is a great place for the moon to be. Things are slower. We really do care about valuing ourselves and valuing what's important to us. This is excellent. This moon in Taurus is going to be conjunct, which is together with the planet Uranus, which we've been talking about a lot today. And so the moon, moods, emotions, together with the planet of, wow, anything can happen. Do not let your moods or your emotions dictate what you're going to do, say, or how you're going to be remembered. While this moon in Taurus is together conjunct Uranus, it is also square Saturn. So Taurus doesn't like to be told what to do. Uranus definitely doesn't like to be told what to do. And Saturn likes to tell you what to do. So Saturn is authority. Uranus is the rebel. The moon is the emotional being. This is a great time to understand that although there is a tendency to be stubborn, a tendency to insist that it be done your way, that's really not how it's going to work out. Just remember to breathe and be calm. Resistance to what is going on is futile. Remember, the theme is Uranian flexibility. Things are going to be happening that are outside of your immediate control. Do not take it personally, and if you can float instead of fighting in the water, you'll have a much, much better time moving down the river of life. Then on Saturday, something big happens. We are going to have a planet move from one sign to another, and that planet is Mars. It's going to move from Taurus, slow and steady, predictable Taurus, into the sign of Gemini. Gemini is very mental. Gemini likes movement. Gemini likes to know what's going on. Gemini doesn't like to stay in one place. Well, Mars doesn't like to stay in one place either. However, there are special instructions. Usually Mars stays in a sign for about 6 weeks. That's normally what happens. In the last year or so, Mars has actually broken that pattern. It was in its own sign, Aries, for 6 months. Well, this time, Mars in Gemini is going to be in Gemini for 7 months. That's a lot, a lot. So what you're going to be having to do is understand how communication moves. Mars rules movement, how communication moves. So Mars will be in Gemini for 7 months. There will be a lot of information downloads, tremendous downloads, awarenesses, observations, realizations. Wow, I never thought about it that way before. Insights. Keep a notepad with you this whole time and write these things down as they come to you. Just step aside from whatever's going on and write them down, because many of these things are going to develop into something that you can use, develop into something that will guide you in some beneficial way on your path. Be very careful to think before you speak and think before you act, because Mars is action, Gemini words, and Mars doesn't like to take time, and Gemini doesn't either. Be careful. You don't want to have to eat your words. It's not a good meal. So make sure that you have calming exercises. Make sure that you remember to breathe. Mars is in a hurry. Gemini rules breathing in the lungs. Make sure you remember to breathe, and make sure very much that you have some great meditative, calming activities that you can rely on. You have to pay attention also to the houses in your chart where Gemini falls. So, for instance, if you have Gemini in the second house, pay attention to how that can affect your life, because there will be action and energy moving around in that house. Definitely pay attention to any ideas or issues that come up on Saturday, August 20th, the day that Mars goes into Gemini, because those ideas, those thoughts are going to be repeating themselves, and they're going to go deeper, they're going to bring up more information, and they're going to be important to you. So pay attention, especially to what you think about, to what you experience, to who you meet, and what those interactions are like. Sunday, we will have Mercury, the planet of the intellect, the planet of communication, in opposition to Neptune, the planet of drifting along, the planet of fantasy, the planet of deception. And some deceptions are great, like when you sit and watch a movie, that's a deception. That's a great, entertaining deception. Some deceptions are not as great. So you want to pay attention. Mercury has a tendency, when it's aligned in any way with Neptune, to sort of float. This is a great day to go along with that. Go to a movie, read a book, relax on the beach, daydream. This is a great day to relax and recharge, especially after the last 2 weeks we've had, which were gnarly in the extreme. So remember, it's a big week. It's busy, but not as wild and crazy as it has been. And you get 2 self-care relaxed days. One Thursday with Venus trine Jupiter, and the other Sunday with Mercury opposite Neptune. And on that note, I'm going to leave you and say, have a great rest of your week. Bye.